All right, guys. I think it's time we have the Geno Smith conversation. I understand that this past season with the Raiders wasn't anything remarkable, but I would like to say that I think Geno coming back to the New York Jets could be a win win for both sides. I think it gives us a cheap bridge quarterback, and it gives him an opportunity to reshape his image by not working with a dog poo offensive line and no weapons. Now, I've been doing a bit of research on Geno Smith since he's taken over the starting role back in Seattle. And right now, I'm looking at he played in 64 out of a possible 68 games. My pros for him was a veteran mind. He was very durable. He has a much higher than average yards per attempt. He has great accuracy, and he makes quick decisions. Now, if I were going to go into the cons, he does have a high turnover rate. I think he has a ton of turnover worthy plays that he leaves on the field every game, which is not dissimilar to what was going on during his time with the New York Jets originally. He doesn't seem to handle pressure super well. I feel like that's when a lot of his turnovers come into play is when he's having someone kind of barreling down into his lap, which, me as a normal guy, I like to say that like that would happen to any of us, but obviously as a professional quarterback, you have to deal with this pressure a little bit better. And at 35, I don't think it's going to change. So it's something that I think I could personally live with. And then when you go into another con, is he doesn't evade pressure as well as you would think. Um, you know, I was a huge Geno Smith fan coming out of when he was coming out of West Virginia back in 2013. He ran like a 4.5, so like he has the legs to maneuver more better than most. But obviously, the stigma around black quarterbacks was the issue, and that was obviously a thing for him early on in his career. That's why he never wanted to be categorized as a dual threat quarterback. He said, "I am a pocket passer through and through." So I personally feel like, with the pros and cons, we could absolutely live with that with Geno Smith. And I think the pros get even better with a Garrett Wilson and a Romeo Dobbs on the outside. Hopefully, if we can sign him in free agency. Now, some things of note: I put 2 out of his 4 full seasons with, since Seattle, he's thrown for over 4,000 yards. I don't. That's not something to sniff at. I think this is not garbage time yards, all of them. He did it in Seattle, which was a very big deal. Um, he has double digit interceptions, but that goes into his turnover worthy plays. And he averaged 80 touchdowns over the last 4 seasons. It's 20 touchdowns a season. I will absolutely take that as a Jets fan. Um, Very high completion percentage. If you go back to 2022, he had a 69.8% completion percentage. 2023, he had 64.7. 2024, he had a 70%. And 2025, this down year with the Raiders, he still had a 67.4% completion percentage. Now, if I'm the Jets and I'm just begging for someone to just complete a pass to Garrett Wilson, just please get him the ball, why not look at Geno? I think this could be an absolute win-win on both sides. Overall, I think Geno could be a great stopgap quarterback for any rookie we bring in. I think he'll win us some games while someone like a Garrett Nussmeier sits behind him and learns the ropes. And I even put here in my notes, like, it's funny enough, I think Garrett Nussmeier could be a Geno clone. He's someone who's a little bit of a gunslinger, despite not necessarily having the strongest of arms to do that. But he's someone who's testing the defense. Like, if you're going to leave yards out there for me to get, I'm going to try to get it, and the defenses are going to have to respect that. So I think it'd be monumental if someone like Geno could mentor Garrett Nussmeier or someone of that nature. For my closing statements, I would say, if we get a Geno Smith through a trade, which, I'm sure we could get him for like a 5th or 6th round pick, in free agency, we go get Alex Anzalone and Romeo Dobbs, and then we just focus on straight defense in the draft. Arvo Reese, Ruben Bain, I've been over this a million times. I really want us to go defense in the draft, and I think we can clean up a lot of our offense through trades before the draft and free agency. If you guys like this video, please like this video, subscribe, leave comments down below. I would love to hear what you guys think going forward.